You have got to hear this story. The title alone tells you it's gonna be a wild ride. It's one of those classic neighbor disputes, you know? But this one just spirals into this perfect example of how things can blow up in your face, especially when you're the one who started it all.
And we need to be clear right from the start. This was not some freak accident. This was a feud that had been boiling for a while, and it was all because of this one neighbor who was apparently using his drone to just constantly harass a dog in its own backyard.
So you can probably guess what happened next, right? It escalated. Big time. We're talking, it went from yelling over the fence to suddenly being a full-blown legal battle. I mean, judge, courtroom, the whole 9 yards.
But here's the kicker. This is where the story takes a turn you just won't see coming. The guy who decided to sue? Oh, he was about to regret that decision. In a major, major way. It's just a beautiful, ironic twist.
So, a drone menace, a feud over backyard airspace. Yeah, let's really paint the picture here. You've got two neighbors, a tall privacy fence separating them, a dog just trying to live its life, and then this drone. And that drone is about to become the center of an all-out backyard war.
And this quote, this says it all. Whenever the dog owner would ask him to stop, his response was always, "You don't own the air above your yard." Do you believe that? I mean, that one line just perfectly sums up his whole attitude, right? It really tells you everything you need to know about how this was going to go.
And look, this wasn't just him flying his drone around for fun. He was deliberately flying low over the yard, doing these flybys just to get a rise out of the dog. The owner asked him again and again to please stop. He just wouldn't. It got so bad that the police even came out at one point and told him, hey, knock it off, just to keep the peace. But it seems like that just made him double down.
So, after all that, after all the taunting, all the buzzing, what do you think happened? The inevitable. One day the dog had just had enough. It leaped up and bam, snatched that drone right out of the sky. And just like that, a $900 drone was nothing but a pile of plastic and wires.
An unexpected lawsuit. The neighbor's reaction takes a legal turn. So the drone is toast, but his reaction, it wasn't just getting mad and yelling. No, he decided to take this thing to a whole new level. He went legal.
Imagine this, a knock at the door, and it's a sheriff's deputy. They're serving the dog owner with a summons. Just like that, she's officially being sued in small claims court for the cost of that $900 drone.
But here's where the tables start to turn. See, the neighbor thought he was being so clever, right? Dragging her to court, but what he didn't realize was that he was making the biggest mistake of his life. He basically handed her the perfect opening for an incredible comeback. So what did she do? She didn't just get ready to defend herself. She went on offense. She decided to countersue. And for anyone who doesn't know, that's basically when you sue them right back. You file your own claim against the person who sued you for all the trouble they've caused. It's a total game changer. And she came prepared. After a free legal consultation, she started building this airtight case. She got everything together. Photos showing her 8-foot privacy fence, so he was definitely flying over it. Videos of the drone doing its little harassment routine. The old police reports. And get this, even the vet bills. Both for the dog's anxiety and for a checkup to make sure it hadn't swallowed any drone parts.
And then she found the ace up her sleeve. A lawyer pointed something out that changed everything. Their houses were less than 5 miles from an airport. Why does that matter? Well, it means her neighbor's little hobby might have been violating federal FAA regulations. All of a sudden, this wasn't just some petty backyard fight. This was potentially a federal issue. So all of this culminates in the courtroom showdown. And you are not going to believe the argument the neighbor tries to make. It is truly one for the ages. And the judge's final verdict? Absolutely stunning. Okay, you have to hear this. The neighbor, the plaintiff, his big claim was that the dog owner, quote, maliciously installed a picnic table as a launch pad to train her dog to attack his drone. I'm not making that up. Meanwhile, her case was, pretty straightforward. His drone was harassing my dog, it caused the dog anxiety, it provoked the attack, and it was a safety hazard. Just a little bit of a difference there.
So just to remind you, the neighbor walked in there wanting $900.
But he walked out of there owing the dog owner almost $2,000. Talk about a complete 180. Just, wow.
So the final ruling was just a total slam dunk. First, the neighbor has to pay her vet bills, nearly $2,000. Second, he's legally banned from ever flying a drone over her property again. And the cherry on top?
Her little tip to the FAA worked. They launched an official investigation into the guy. A clean sweep.
All right, so when this whole saga made its way online, you can just imagine the reaction. People absolutely loved it. It's the kind of karmic justice everyone roots for, you know? The comment sections just lit up with people celebrating this guy's epic failure.
And everyone, I mean everyone, was focused on that malicious picnic table argument. The sheer nerve. Like one person wrote, it was one of the all-time great moments in petty court history. I couldn't agree more.
Here's another great one. Someone called it the legal version of play stupid games, win stupid prizes. And they're so right. The neighbor literally paid almost $2,000 just to have a judge tell him how wrong he was.
But this might be the best part, the ultimate irony. If he had just let it go, if he had never sued over his broken drone, he never would have been reported to the FAA. As one commenter perfectly put it, his own actions, his own aggression led directly to his downfall.
But wait, it's not over. There's one last little detail here that is just unbelievable. You'd think the neighbor would have learned his lesson, right? Nope. Shortly after losing in court, he goes out and buys a new drone, and this one is even bigger. So that kind of leaves us hanging, doesn't it? The FAA investigation is still pending, and now there's this new, even bigger drone in the picture. It really makes you think, what happens when your neighbor's little hobby crosses the line and turns into a potential federal issue? It just goes to show how a simple annoyance can spiral into something much, much bigger.